we get ready for a fight?
Take it easy, Henry. You're wearing von Bergov's colours. They're from Trotsky.
Surround them! Don't let them get away!
Besides, you don't stand a chance against them.
Don't do anything foolish, fellas. Just follow my orders. Halt! What are you after here?
Is this usually how you greet visitors, my good man?
This is how we greet armed strangers when bandits are pillaging everywhere.
Can you not distinguish between a noble and a bandit, sir?
It's not always that straightforward these days. Who are you people?
Sir Hans Capon of Perkstein. I bear a letter for Sir Otto von Berghoff from my master, Sir Hanush of Lipa.
This is indeed the seal of the Lords of Lipa. And unless I am mistaken, Lord Hanush of Lipa is on the side of King Wenceslas.
Well,
While my master is a member of the League of Lords, who side with King Sigismund.
well,
So it would appear we are enemies.
We're not enemies. We're carrying a message with the aim of putting a stop to the hostilities.
And who are you?
Henry, from Skalitz. I'm Lord Capon's advisor and scribe, and now an envoy as well.
From Skalitz, you say? The one that King Sigismund's Cuman forces plundered?
And slaughtered everyone. Even so, I'm not going to Trotsky as an enemy, but as a peace envoy.
Even so, you're still strangers here, and armed strangers to boot. And as it happens, we're on the trail of just such a band, so why should I trust you?
We want to resolve conflicts, not to stir up more. Once more, I assure you we have no evil intentions. You can escort us to Trotsky, and everything will be explained there. That we can guarantee.
Very well.
Sorry about the cold reception. You must be cautious. These bandits create mayhem, then vanish like ghosts. We'll be on our way.
oh, so you won't accompany us to the castle to see your lord?
Sorry, sir, we can't. Listen, you won't make it to the castle before nightfall, and Sir Otto's orders are to not admit anyone after dark, especially while we're away. You'd best camp until daybreak.
I'll take your point. I mean, back home, the last time someone led a nobleman in trouble into their castle, we had to bombard it to get him out. Is there an inn in these parts, at least?
There is one, but it's a bit of a way out, and I'm not sure your lordship would like it very much.
God! What kind of a backwater have they sent us to? I just suppose we'll just have to manage somehow. Good luck in hunting down those bandits.
Thomas, captain at Trotsky. Thank you. And sorry again. Farewell.
Farewell.
Well, this is a bit of a hold-up. What now?
Since there's no tavern within reach, we'll just bed down here for the night. The pond looks inviting, and we've got wine enough.
And what about those bandits?
Well, they're probably keeping their heads down, what with that big patrol combing the woods for them. Come on, fellas. We'll camp here on the bank. At least we can bathe. I stink almost as bad as the rest of you, and you lot are rank.
Go away, You'll get nothing from me. Whistle to that dog.
Come here! What's all the fuss about, Mutt? Listen,
That's a good one. I've got one last... Look, Henry, I'm fond of that beast, but...
come on, Oates. We're a noble's escort, so they're obliged to feed us well. Pheasant in wine, roast pork with apples. Those sausages of yours are only fit for a dog anyway.
For Christ's sake, stop giving me a hard time. I'll have you know that sausage is fucking good. But neither you nor your dog will get to taste it.
Wouldn't you swap it for something?
I might. Tankard has my ring. I lost it to him at dice, and if I go home without it, my old woman will send me right back. If you can get it back, I'll be glad to give you that sausage.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
Come on, Conrad.
What?
How do you think things will end up?
How? No ways. Whenever someone parleys with
Why do you think that?
See me and Conrad now? We can't even... But then, I'm ask Oates.
Have you ever been in the...
No, but I know there's a village called Troskovis at the foot of the castle. Me and Conrad will go there and fatten... If Sir Hans gives us a bit of free... I must
I see you've got...
Sure.
I heard you want to...
Fortune favour... Come on then, show us what you can do. Unless you're playing for the first time. Nothing worth mentioning. No, that's as far as I go. Why'd I even start playing? God damn your eyes. You played well. What's to be... Come on, Conrad.
What?
Let's...
Yes, I won that ring.
You beat that. Will you give it to me?
What will you give me for it?
Well...
All right.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh? And how come you always win then, eh?
Look what I have for you.
That's an easy one. I always win, because you always lose.
Ha ha. Very droll.
Seriously, no, Conrad, my old mate. Roll a few, eh?
No.
Aye, come here.
Hey, Conrad, one little game, eh?
Leave me alone. I know you only too well. It's all one little game. One little game. And then you go and take my last groschen.
You silly mutt.
Boring. Why don't we carry on to the foothill of Trotsky? They must have a tavern there. Fellow could have a game there.
Give over, tankard.
Henry,
They'll be
come. Henry. Oh. Just for.
Well, that's what
And I must say, that was pretty good for your first action as leader of my bot. Let's see if you keep it up. But we managed the situation all right in the end. If Hanosh had seen it, maybe finally.
Well, I don't know. When I look at you, well...
Kiss my arse. And by the way, since you're here, how about stretching our limbs a bit after that long journey? With a bit of swordplay.
You're in the mood.
Certainly. So then,
Or just a bit of swordplay for...
let's save the wages.
Oh.
Keep the biting. You've got armor on, so just grab your helmet. Here's a practice sword for. Have that ready. Ready? Let's start. Draw your sword.
Hang on. This time, let's get warmed up. I'll attack you a few times. You defend.
Go ahead. Impress me. Is that the best you've got? I didn't even work up a sweat.
No, you will soon enough. A foe in plate armor has to be worn down.
Let's see it then. Attack properly now. A longer sequence.
Ah!
You want to wear me down like that? Bernard would weep to see you. Enough!
Now you're warmed up, eh?
Yeah. But you're pretty winded yourself. While you're attacking, you still have to take care you have strength left to defend.
Save the advice and try it yourself.
Gladly. On guard. Nice. Defend yourself properly. Good. Defend yourself properly. Why don't you cover yourself? Good.
Clash of blades.
That's the way. Defend yourself properly. Wrong. That's the way.
That's enough. No one's ever won a duel just by blocking. You've got to make an opening to strike back. And you do that by means of a perfect block.
Perfect block, eh? You've become a real swordsman.
Start your attack then.
You're doing great, Henry. Pretty good. Nice. But what about a riposte? Reckon you can manage that?
Why wouldn't I? Nothing to it. I just follow up a perfect block immediately with a strike. I'll show you.
Get ready! Why didn't you strike afterwards? Good, Henry. Nice. Well, you're not as good as Captain Bernard, but that wasn't bad.
Be sure to remember, if someone gives you a riposte, you can still fend it off with a perfect block. And it's best to follow up right away with your own riposte.
Yeah, right. But what if I want to attack in such a way that you can't make a perfect block?
Then it's best to attack at a spot where your opponent isn't covered, where he's not holding his weapon. You defend, and I'll show you how.
All right, come on then.
That's how it's done.
Too slow. Nice. Oh, nice, Henry. All right. I get it. For Christ's sake. Enough demonstrations and explanations.
Let's have one training duel to finish up, eh?
Indeed. And let's have a wager to spice things up. How about 100 groschen?
All right, 100 groschen it is.
Defend yourself!
Swordplay.
First hit!
Nice block.
How do you do it?
Nice technique. Did you see that?
Fuck me!
Nice strike.
Come on, Henry. Now, that's what I call sword.
Fuck me! Fuck me!
Right on the head.
Ow! Kurva! How do you do it?
Go for it.
Ow!
That
Kurva!
might hurt. Don't you think you should yield? Now that's what I call swordplay. Let's spark fine.
How do you do it?
He's nearly done in.
Knock the stuffing out of me. I yield. Enough. Oh, for fuck's sake, you're unstoppable. Oh, you won the bet, fair and square. I'll settle with you when we get to Trotsky. Now let's go and eat. That swordplay gave me quite an appetite.
So who won,
Oh, it seems since that last...
That time we had a wager. How did it actually end up?
Henry, that was no time ago at all. Did you get a bang in the head? And of course, I won.
So much has happened since then.
God's truth. We had no lack of excitement.
Indeed.
Oats? What's this food supposed to be?
What's left of our...
If you told us earlier, I could... And you could have cooked it like they did in the tavern.
That tavern where you drank away all your...
Ha! You've got to have some fun. And she was pretty. A real peach. Admit it.
Only a fella was there.
And I had to drag you out of that tavern before everyone pounced on us.
And he had his work cut out. You wasn't having it much.
Now, if you was able to court the lasses like me, maybe she wouldn't have started screeching.
I can't say I'm surprised. Just imagine it, fellas. You're a fair maiden. Your lovely locks falling on your shoulders. No thought of wickedness. And then Tankard's fat head appears. Where's the shit, oh my pretty?
The whole world turns around wenches. Ain't that right, Henry? You never gave us the goods on that
To raise her. She lived with that crook Peshek at the mill.
And she saved my life.
A brave girl.
Aye. She's a fine lass. And? Is she any good? Like, is she any good? Get me?
She's brave. She saved my life when I went back to Skalitz after it was razed to bury my parents, and a bunch of mercenaries attacked me. And that's all I'll say.
You know, this travelling isn't too bad.
Apart from the mosquitoes.
Aye. Apart from them.
Where were you yesterday evening, Henry? You were late for supper. That's not what I call watching over our Lord.
Hey, don't make trouble.
I needed a bit of peace and I had a stroll around, checking out what plants grow here, praying for the success of our mission. Then I came back.
At last someone with some sense who's not in a hurry all the time.
If I always had to think everything over, but...
I wouldn't have rolled in the hay with so many girls if I spent my time just thinking about it.
Thanks for the prayer, anyway.
And what about, time, sir? I mean, will we be getting any...
It depends. Once von Berghoff hears us out...
What?
Well...
Does anyone know anything more about von Berghoff?
Only what Sir Hans told us, that von Berghoff is a big chief. That's why we're going to negotiate an alliance with him.
You summed that up nice. But yes, that's how it is. You fellas will never meet a more important...
I heard he insists on having the finest swords, and that he's got a big collection of all kinds of swords and daggers.
Collecting them ain't the same as knowing how to use them.
And is he any good at sword fighting? It ain't nothing easy to learn.
The sword is the weapon of a master. Balanced, fast, and of course, you have to train with it and try to improve your technique, but the result is worth it.
Aye, I get it. It was just a training fight. Pardon.
Oh, no doubt you're going to tell us, and I thought you'd come round to...
And that sword is the only reminder I had of Pa. We forged it together. But that's another matter. I suppose you've heard enough of that, eh?
Well...
No, it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Ishvan's shoes if you ever come face to face with him again.
What? So Radzig ain't dead, though?
Enough, enough. Otherwise we'll be here for hours again hearing how Martin the Smith raised him even though Radzig is his real... It's complicated. And let no offense.
Who help me tomorrow with getting supplies?
We rolled dice for it, and I...
What are you on about?
Enough. Oath, you're no fun at all. There'll be a feast at the castle.
Anyone for another helping? There's plenty left.
No thanks. I must wash myself down a bit.
My words, we can't turn up at Trotsky tomorrow in this state.
Let's go and strip.